G'day and welcome back for more Space Engineers Survival. And I destroyed all my solar... Well, I let the enemy destroy all my solar panels last time. So we're going to need to fix those quickly. A few people also pointed out that maybe it wasn't the best idea, or wouldn't be the best idea, to just leave the goose lying here, right where the enemy drones keep coming past. So let's return it to the hangar for now, while we do a few things around the base to try and make it a little bit safer, as the new faster moving drones are certainly adding a considerable degree of challenge to me defending the base properly. I'm not sure if it's well, I'm pretty sure it's not just the speed that's an issue. I believe that we may have had a few of those drones reach the base because the sandbags out the front did not have any ammunition, and we are going to fix that right now. As soon as I park this in its spot, although I'm not really going to park it in its spot, I think I'm just going to leave it on top of the turntable, since I really just want to turn around and come straight back out with this same trailer in relatively short order. These will hopefully get a few shots off and stop the lower turret on the drifting pursuants from actually being able to damage the base. I think they don't do much about the top one. But at least getting the bottom one... Why did I type CC? At least getting the bottom one taken out of action should diminish the amount of damage that any drifting pursuant can do to the base. It is nice to kind of see that the decoys on these are functional, since this one has a bit of damage to both. Okay, rearmed. Let's grab the Buttercup. Ooh! I'm going to do something. I think it should be doable from here. Let's lock to the base, because a lot of these connectors are unlocking quite often. So I'm going to take this base timer block and I'm going to set it to connector lock. We're going to have a delay of 20 seconds since I don't need it running all that often. And what it is going to do, it is going to grab all of the green connectors. And we're going to call this group base connectors. Save. What this time is going to do is it's going to grab every single connector on the base, which are somewhere in this list. There we go, base connectors. Oh, did I accidentally grab something I shouldn't there? I think I did. I'm going to set it to lock, and then we're going to set it to start the countdown on itself. So it'll continuously run itself. And let's click start. The idea of this is that on every reload, these connectors seem to get unlocked. The ones that are attached to the base's subgrid. So you can see here, that one's come unlocked, which is a problem. Although thankfully somewhat less of a problem than it used to be, because I've put a battery on here. So what we can do is trailer jack rotors, reverse those. Hopefully they'll be able to reverse all the way around. Yep. Then grab our trailer jack pistons, reverse them. And hopefully with a bit of a nudge, I can push this into position so it can relock. Since otherwise, this is going to run out of charge eventually. Although it'll take probably quite a long time. How long? 23 hours. It's not a big issue, but it is an annoying one. But it was suggested to me that I place a timer block down to reconnect all of these connectors, so that if any do come unlocked when I don't notice them, at least our batteries won't die, because we will re-establish that lock. And it was a very good idea. And it's a very simple thing that should work quite nicely. Let's grab our new ship. And our new ship I'm going to make some changes to. And the reason I'm grabbing this is so that I can nudge that trailer back into position. I'm going to get rid of that grinder. I started thinking about it, and I was sort of doubling up on purposes. What the heck is happening to that trailer? I think I'm going to have to move the goose off the turntable. I don't think I can leave it rested there. So, what I was thinking about with this is I've built a trailer. Oh no, did I just... I didn't damage one of the landing gear, did I? No. I built a trailer designed to... Whoa. I built a trailer... I'm eventually going to get through this sentence. I've built a trailer designed to grind stuff down. So, why am I also building a ship designed to do the same thing? That just doesn't make a lot of sense. I should either go for a trailer that's going to grind stuff, or a ship that's going to grind stuff, and a trailer that's got massive amounts of cargo. And I really like the idea of having a trailer with a grinder pit in it. It's just kind of fun. So I didn't want to build a large grinder ship to take out the base, which is why I went with the small. But as I think we all realize, the small grinder ships and the small grid grinders are actually less efficient than the handheld ones. So I'm better off using the handheld one and trying to use this little ship as a cargo assistant. So if I fly it up to wherever I'm going to grind some stuff down, and I can dump all of my cargo into it instead of having... Nope, it's not strong enough for this. Oops. Instead of having to fly back and forth with my suit, I can move this right next to where I'm going to work, dump stuff in and out of the cargo, and it'll be quite convenient. I can also use this for picking up those bits of scrap so that I can dump them into our grinder pit. So it has a function there on that side of things. And I think that's really the way I should be going with this. Unless I go for a... What the... No. No! Arrgh. Right, let's see if I can fix this trailer. This is not good. Come on, hop over the thing. Come on. You can do it. No, you can't. How am I going to do this? I'm tempted to do one of those little hops and just get over that last little bit. Let's put some driving force on those wheels. Oh, yeah, there we go. That was enough. Huh. I just had a thought. I wonder if I can straighten this up by getting creative. If I move this towards number 2... Nope. Number 4? Uh-oh. This could have been a bad idea. Okay. After much fiddling and faffing, I have fixed this up, and I'm just going to leave it parked this way. I can reverse back on there when I'm ready to go. That's locked up. So much fiddling. Alright. What I want to do now is I want to go upstairs and I want to add a camera to the outside of the base. Instead of trying to control turrets so that I can see what's going on, I think it might be better to leave the turrets in the control of the much more effective AI controller and instead have a camera using Digi's panning mod so that I can see what's going on. I think it will work much, much better. I should have all the parts I need for a camera, and I think we should be able to get a pretty reasonable view just from the front here. Right here. Oh, of course. We'll call this base camera cabin, so I know which one it is, just in case I start putting some more in. What the? Did I just put that? I just put it on upside down. So annoying. How did I not see that? Oh, I always do this with the large grid ones because it doesn't have the camera word on it. It's got this weird metal bar thingamajiggy. And I always end up putting it on upside down. There we go. That's the right way up. Phew. That's better. So with the clear camera mod and Digi's panning mod, I should get a pretty good view of things from here. So I'll be able to watch what's going on with no HUD up. We can really zoom in. I can see all the way up to those sandbags. So I think this is going to be quite the nice perspective on things. I won't be able to see my turret on top of this firing, but If it turns out there's some other angles we could use, like putting some cameras up on the solar tower, that sort of thing, I'll add those as we get to them. Since I'm not sure where's going to be most useful at the moment, I don't want to end up with tons of cameras and only use one or two of them. I'd rather figure out after the fact which ones are going to be most useful so that we can have just a couple of cameras that are really, really handy. Now, it is time for me to head downstairs, grab the buttercup, and repair those solar panels. Since that was kind of what we were supposed to be doing when I got distracted by the timer blocks and then by everything else. Well, I missed out on most of today's power from these solar panels, but at least we'll be getting them fully repaired relatively quickly using this. What the? Oh, I thought I'd put you on standby. This could get a bit dicey. Okay. Done. Solar tower repaired. Well, I mean this bit isn't, but at least most of it is. Alright, there is a lot of drone wreckage out there, and I think since it's nightfall, I'm not going to be driving the Goose down to the enemy base tonight. I think we should head there in the morning. I'm going to use the night to get as much salvage as possible with the bin chicken so that I can hopefully improve performance a little bit, as those stutters are becoming a little more frequent and I would like to put an end to them. Plus, there is a huge mess out there and I think it's time we cleaned it up. So let's get moving. Oops. Turrets off, turrets off. And away we go. So there might still be a few grids left to be ground down, it looks like, despite the sun's starting to rise. And I do want to get going sooner rather than later. But for the sake of sim speed, I also need these grids to be finished. I managed to clear away the majority of the bigger chunks, and I've actually enabled the trash cleanup to get rid of all of the tiny little bits that were mainly just armor. And I'm going to leave the trash cleanup on that higher setting to see if it can make the salvaging a bit more fun, because you'll actually be picking up stuff you want rather than a piece of armor plating that's only got like 8 blocks in it. And really, with the amount of time it takes to assemble those 8 steel plates, it's not worth the effort. The only downside with the new settings is if the lights on the road down to the mine ever run out of battery, they'll get cleaned up too. We are armed, which means we are ready to go. Alright, let's drive on past and we'll pick up whatever this mustachioed vehicle is going to eventually become named. Jeez, it has so much lift. It's really easy for me to get close to smacking into that roof. I'm really, really hoping that we can drive all the way right up next to the base. I'm going to give it a go, even though some of the terrain was a bit dodgy. I still think we can make it. Especially with the subgrid wheel control script, I think we should have enough power to get up some of those hills that looked like I wouldn't have been able to prior to having that. Let's hope that we get far enough away that those drones try and come after us and don't manage to get there. Whoops, 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 bit fast. What I think I'll do is I think I'll leave those bits of scrap behind until we're on our way back. I suspect we're going to need to make a couple of trips there, so ideally we go there, we get a full complete load at the enemy base, then we come back, we grab the remaining stuff, and then on our return trip from that second visit, we should be able to pick up any scrap drones along our way. Now, I haven't made the mistake of leaving Reggie logged in, so the drones should only come after me. They hopefully won't go after the base. Fingers crossed I don't come back to my base being half destroyed. One strange thing about driving this semi-trailer is I find it's actually a lot easier to drive on the lake than a rigid vehicle. I think the trailer kind of pushes everything straight, so you can get up to much higher speeds without starting to slide and lose control, like so. I think we can get, yeah, 80 meters a second, which is a little bit of insanity, but certainly makes traversing this lake a lot faster. I'm going to want to swing round to our left, so let's see how useful the brakes are when we've got the subgrids controlled. Hey, even on ice, that was nice. Not even on nice, that was ice. Looking at the terrain from this angle, it looks like we should be able to go up that surface directly in front of us. But I wonder if it might be smoother going up this little valley here. And usually the patches that are green are actually quite smooth to drive on. It's looking good so far. It's pretty rough on those sides though. I think we can turn in here. Whoops. Bit too hard. Never mind that. Alright. Well, this is better than I thought I was going to get initially, because I didn't really think I'd be able to even get up onto this plateau. Then I've just got to find that smooth bit of rock face that I used to get up onto the top when I was with the tick. And I think it was pretty... Oh, it was incredible luck that I even found it then, so... We'll see how lucky I get this time. It's a little rough on our right there. Whoa! Oh, that was lucky. Oh yeah, that's the smooth bit just there. Alright, come on. You got the power. You can do it. Come on. Come on. You can do it. Without thrusters. Yes. Wow, that was a lot more extra power than I was expecting to get. I am very, very happy. And look at that. Whoa, 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 turrets, 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 turrets. No, 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 no. Stop shooting, stop shooting, stop shooting. I don't have control over you separately. Gah. Pelican turrets. Safe. Gee. Oh wait, no. We'll just do that for now. I should really create a group that is that's like goose trailer turrets, so that it's always a control on my hotbar and it's always the same name. But I'll fix that up later. Really just need to get those off now so I can actually get close again. Look at that. What a parking spot. Could not have hoped for better. Let's start grinding this baby down from the top. My plan with using this little ship here is to fly it to wherever I'm currently grinding stuff off and grab it from there. I might even be able to chop off some chunks that I can lift into the grinder pit. Stuff like this heavy armor here is a bit of a pain to actually grind down by hand because my personal inventory will fill so quickly. So there might be an advantage and there might be some fun in trying to get it into the grinder pit. Okay, we got 2 loose pieces now. I'm going to see if I can get them into our grinder pit. I think picking them up at a funny angle may actually be beneficial. If I pick them up dead square, then I've got no angle to work with that might allow me to drop it in there so that it'll stay in. Because as you can see, large grid in this grinder pit looks enormous. Let's see what happens if I unlock. I'm hopeful that that's going to go in, not out. Maybe if I nudge it. Oh, of course it would balance, wouldn't it? Let's just bring it over this way a little bit, and then unlock. There we go. This possibly doesn't save time, but it is fun. If you were shooting for efficiency in how you were going to approach this sort of salvage operation, you would almost certainly want to go with a setup more like what the mining setup is, where you've got a small grid ship that's going to do all of the grinding work, and then it just comes back to the cargo grid to, well, the cargo trailer to dump everything off. Now, I'm going to have to do something careful here. I'm going to have to... Well, that's what I'll do. Where is it? Refuel. Toggle on off. And I'm also going to access the other one and turn its refuel off as well. Because I've only got the one connector, it's going to need to be the same connector whether I'm attaching to the base or whether I'm attaching to the snork. Because I've only got the one connector, and because I've got the refuel script running on both of these vehicles, and I want to use this as a recharge point, and I haven't looked into what I need to do with the other settings. I'm just going to turn them both off so that when I lock, it still misbehaves. Why did everything get turned off? Oh, because I had it as toggle on off. That would make sense. One of the reasons I left the top of this cargo container exposed is so that I can access it directly and quickly drop stuff off. And it saves so much time than going through the connector every time and having to dump stuff into the cargo container. Although there is that risk that I'll pop into the cockpit because I rushed myself. I'm starting to think I might have been hasty in taking the grinder off the front here. The only real downside, it seems, of having the grinder is I won't have enough power to run it for very long. So I wouldn't be able to grind down very much. But there are certain things where I guess it might have been useful. I'm just going to use the Goose's oxygen generator for a second to refill my hydrogen, as it's kind of low. No, there's no ice! Ah! No! Is there ice in this? Ah, there's some hydrogen bottles. Alright, what do we need? Metal grid, small cell tubes. Ah, there's no displays. Alright, fine. Since I didn't get any ice for the Goose, I'm gonna have to fly down and grab some. Seems silly to drive the Goose the whole way down. This is going to use up some of the battery from our little friend here. I could have sworn I'd put ice in the thing.
Inventory
So I don't know how it ended up without it. So I decided to use the materials that are around here and find out if it is really way too slow to do it with this grinder, or if I'm going to run out of power too soon and all that sort of stuff. Because grinding this by hand is really, really tedious. If this is faster, I really would rather do it this way. And it's pretty slow. I think we're going to need to build a proper little grinding ship at some point if we're going to be harvesting bases and things like that. But I suspect we probably should just go after the high value parts of this. I mean, for me at the moment, I guess the grids and things, because they require cobalt and everything else, are relatively high value. But this is so slow. Oh man, so slow. I'm also going to have to come back with a display so that I can repair that cargo container and empty it out bit by bit. Although you can grind containers like that with grid-based grinders and get all of the stuff that's inside, I don't have enough cargo capacity on this little ship to take everything that's inside, so there'll be stuff that's dropped or destroyed, and I don't want that. There are a lot of goodies in there that I really would like to keep. It's kind of convenient that I was able to do this little change up to test this out while I was over here. So it meant I got a perfect direct comparison between the two methods. And my conclusion? They are both horrible. No, there is nothing good about grinding this whole thing down by hand, and there is nothing good about grinding it down with a single small ship grinder. I reckon I should put some landing gear on the Nugget and land it on here so that at least I've got 2 grinding ships. Well, it looks like we're almost out of battery. Ooh. Almost out of battery, and we are almost out of daylight as well. We have filled, I think, 1 large cargo container. Yep. But we've got another 3 that we could fill. So we're a long way from max capacity. But with the battery dead on this thing, it's going to be quite a tedious process grinding this down by hand and flying back and forth to the Goose. I think I will do it for the most part until this thing is full so that we can take a full load back with us to the base. But what this tells me is as much fun as I've had trying to pick up little bits and shove them in the trailer and using that as a little cargo drone and grinding directly with it, it's not a very good way of going about this. It leaves a lot to be desired. There are a lot of things that I could do a lot better with this. So I may have to think about ways to improve this. Well, not may. I am going to have to think about ways to improve this setup so that it'll work a lot better.
Inventory full.
The sort of things I have in mind are converting this trailer over to a full-on cargo trailer. So instead of having the grinder pit, just have cargo. That would stop me from being able to pick up little bits of trash along the way, but there aren't that many of those things. I think this was a good experiment. I'm glad I did it. But I think we need to approach salvage differently in the future. I accidentally just got the cargo container loose, and I think I might try something to get it closer to the Goose, because I do want the goodies that are in it. And I think if I do this, I might be able to roll it. Maybe. I suspect it might be too heavy. Oh no. There we go. Nice. Then we can do the same again. And keep on rolling. The other thought I had, rather than going all the way back to base in order to get a display.
Fuel low.
Why don't I... Oh no. Oh.
Fuel critical.
Thank you for the fuel low warning, suit lady. That was very helpful. Oh, wow. I was way too high to run out. I was very, very lucky. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do with this is just keep rolling it until I get it to drop off the edge, even. Because if I can do that, I should be able to just quickly shuttle it back and forth, which will save a lot of time. There we go. Oh, oh dear. That's not what I wanted. Ow. I mean, that's sort of what I wanted, but not really. It is down. Alright, let's build some stabilizing legs on this thing, so we don't have it roll the whole way down the hill. Alright, let's move the Goose down here so I can get a bit closer. Let's get some lights too. It's way too dark down here. See if I can sidle up right next to it. Because surprisingly, after grinding down most of the valuable stuff from in this base, I still have heaps of cargo space left. So, what have you got to display in? Cockpit.
Inventory full.
Oh. There we go. Prepared. Aha. Ow. And look at that, there's displays inside so I can repair the cockpit. Isn't that amazing? Time to loot the goodies! In a potentially very slow way, but still better than what I had. This is the moment where I really had hoped that I would be using the little shuttle to move stuff back and forth. I had planned to build a connector onto the base and then shuttle back at least medium cargo containers full. Alas, we are not doing that. I'm having to move 14 missiles at a time. Can't remember how many gravity generator components you need for a large grav gen, but I think we may have been given enough. After what has been probably several hundred trips back and forth, that is the last of the stuff that's in the cargo container. Now I can get my tools back, and let's grind it down. And that really is basically everything of value from this base. I've ground down all of the conveyor belts, I've ground down both of the refineries, all of the upgrade modules. I don't think there's actually anything left that isn't just a whole bunch of steel plate, which, let's be honest, is probably not worth the time it's going to take to grind it all down. There's also a bunch of interior plate in the catwalks, that sort of stuff. But generally speaking, there's not much left in this. If you have a look, I think it's going to be quicker for me to make the stuff that's left rather than grinding it down and taking it from this. Plus, it's kind of nice to leave this little bit of a, well, ravaged hulk remaining in the ground here. I kind of like the idea of knowing that this wreckage, the wreckage of it is always going to be there. Let's pop that in there. Now, the unfortunate thing about finishing now is it is really, 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 really dark. Yes, I get cocky and drive back in the nighttime from the mine, but that's familiar territory. This is very much not familiar ground. So I may actually just chill out here until daytime. All right. Sunlight. Let's get moving. Still pretty dark down in the valley, but I think we'll be okay. Unpark. Let's reverse. And this thing is going to be super, super heavy now. So we're going to have to be a lot more careful than I was on the way here. In fact, I was pretty crazy on the way here. The number of times where we were up on just two of the trailer's wheels was definitely not the smartest. In fact, I wonder, are we going to be better off trying to find an alternate route down? Because that bit with the rocks is pretty sketchy at the best of times. I wonder if there's a way to get down. Oh! Nope. Nope, before we leave, I need to do something. Something very important. You've got just enough power for this, and hopefully... Oh, I need to grab those displays that I took. So, what I'm going to do... Really hope that I do have enough power to quickly do this. I need to get the missile head of the Rudolph. It's got to come back with me. And I'm hoping I can grab it... What the? What the? Why is there a drone there? How is there a drone there? Oh, that's not a drone. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah. So that there is Reggie, although for some reason he's not in his usual suit. And he was up in space where I'd left him so that he wouldn't attract drones to him, but he apparently has teleported down here, which I must have done by accident. Oh, man. That makes so much more sense. We'll just leave him there. He's in creative mode. He'll be fine. Now, the idea I have is to grab this with one of these landing gear and then sit on the perch off to one side. Because we've got to bring this back. This item is history. It's going to go in the museum. Now, how am I going to do this so that it doesn't cause issues? Alright. I'm going to chance it. I got to chance it. I don't think I'd be able to lock on to the perch. So I'm just going to lock on here and hope for the best. In fact, let's see if I can lock on to the back of the trailer rather than the... Yeah, that's better. Whoops, wrong one. Dang it. Let's just leave that there. Hopefully it's relatively safe. Fingers crossed. Time to move on. With our piece of history on board. Now, I was thinking of trying to see if I could go down this way and get all the way around this bit of raised terrain. I think it might be the way to... Oh, that's quite steep. How is it down this way? This is definitely going to be a circuitous route home. I kind of drive along sideways rather than going straight down. Maybe I won't build up quite so much speed. Nope, that's a bad idea because that will cause me to tilt. Alright. Looks like we're down safe anyway. Well, that was actually quite smooth. Cool. Alright. I think we keep going down and then take us around to the left. Swing around that way. Well, now we've got a clear run down to the ice. I am happy. I am also probably going too fast. Let's slow it down a little bit. I'm interested to find out how this copes with the last little bit when we're going home. Whether I really need the thrusters at the front. I suspect I might. But I also suspect I won't need them anywhere near as much as I used to. Well, I know I won't need them anywhere near as much as I used to. Gently, gently, gently down onto the ice. Nice high cruising speed. Let's see if we can get any turning going. Nope, bad, 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 bad. Oh, so bad. Oh, I'm so glad that subgrids can't do damage to each other. Holy moly. That was not good. Should have had my direction set before I got onto the ice. At that speed, I was not going to be able to turn very much at all. Should have kind of realized that the fact that I was able to shoot straight ahead probably meant that I wasn't going to be able to turn much. Because this thing just wants to go straight, mostly. I think it's got a slight list to the left right now. Alright, starting the run up for the big test. See how much we really need those thrusters anymore. Oh, we totally still need them. I can feel it struggling already. Yep. Thrusters on. Let's go. We can accelerate with just them though, that's nice. Oh, look at that. Done with the greatest of ease. Oh yeah. Even turned off the thrusters partway through because we were going too fast. Oh yeah, we probably don't need those on. They're just going to shoot at wreckage. Oh yeah. Well, I think overall I'm going to call that a successful salvage run since I only had to make a single run to collect everything from that base. However, like my first attempts at the base grinder pit, possibly not the most efficient of setups. Fun. Definitely fun to have a grinder pit that's mobile, but not particularly useful. So I think if we're going to end up salvaging any other bases, we're going to approach it differently. Thankfully, there are none for a while, so we will come back to that idea in the possibly distant future. Despite the fun, despite how much I like the fact that it looks like a Pelican / toilet, that's probably going to be the only run I use this trailer for, unless I come up with a better way of grinding stuff using it. It just doesn't end up being that efficient. And the Butterballs trailer is the height of efficiency. It saves me so much power moving everything with this. I suspect I will probably want to duplicate this in some way with a grinding ship in the future. But still, it was fun, and I do love the idea that I actually did make a mobile grinder pit. I won't say an effective mobile grinder pit, but I will say it is a mobile grinder pit. Next time we're going to start on some very big projects. We'll also put some better defenses in around the base, because right now we're pretty weakly defended and I would like to have some more. But a very big project that I'm going to keep secret. So there's that, and plenty more to come, and I'll see you then.